Hidden cost of loving a narcissist. Hello again and welcome back. I'm Angela Carter, IFS therapist and trauma specialist. And today we're gently stepping, but bravely, into a space that many people have walked through silently. The hidden cost of loving someone who operates from narcissistic protectors. If you've ever been in a relationship like this, romantic, familial, professional, or even in a friendship, you'll know that the pain doesn't always scream. It whispers, it erodes, it confuses. And this episode is here to name what often is left unspoken. The emotional toll, the loss of self, and the deep internal conflict that comes with loving someone who can't love you back in a healthy way. So let's start with these relationships and how they often begin. It usually doesn't start with cruelty. It generally starts with connection, intense, magnetic, affirming. The narcissistic partner often leads with a protector that is charming, attentive, intoxicating maybe. You may have felt special, seen, chosen. And if you're someone with empathetic or nurturing parts, this felt like coming home. But what you didn't know is that you were falling in love with a protector, not the person's self. And over time, the mask begins to crack. Their tenderness becomes criticism. Their attention becomes absence. And their love becomes conditional. And what many don't realize is that shift doesn't just hurt. It splits your own internal system. One part of you still holds the memory of who they were in the beginning. What IFS may call a hopeful part. Another begins to doubt yourself, wondering what you did wrong. This may be a shamed part, a guilty part, a part that's regretful for saying things in the past. And then there's the manager part that says, if I just work harder, if I love them better, I can get it back. And the cycle deepens. Now let's talk about what this dynamic does to you, not just emotionally, but neurologically, energetically, and spiritually. Loving someone with narcissistic behaviors often leaves you questioning your memories, silencing your needs, normalizing disrespect, accepting blame for things that were never yours to carry. Your window of tolerance, that healthy range of emotional arousal, narrows. You may find yourself hypervigilant, anxious, or numb. Your body becomes the battlefield for an invisible war between staying connected and staying safe. IFS helps us understand this internal conflict as parts polarizing. One part says, leave, protect us. Another one says, stay, you'll be alone if you go. And still another says, maybe if I become what they need, this pain will stop. These are not flaws. These are adaptive strategies. Your system is trying to make sense of a relationship where the rules keep changing. So let's name a few common psychological impacts. Loss of trust, self-trust. You stop listening to your gut because it was repeatedly invalidated. There's a confusion around identity. You forget who you were before the relationship, your hobbies, your voice, your sparkle. You start to feel isolated. Either they pushed others away or you did, just to keep the peace. An emotional exhaustion. You are doing all the work of two people, feeling for both, regulating for both, and often apologizing for both. That's not just a heartbreak. This is relational trauma. This is where many people carry shame. Why didn't I leave sooner? But here's what I want to say to you, you beautiful soul, gently. You stayed because a part of you loved deeply, hoped deeply, and wanted to believe in transformation. That part was not naive. It was loyal. And in many cases, the relationship may have mirrored an early attachment wound. Perhaps a parent who was emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, or critical. IFS teaches that when we don't repair these wounds, we often recreate them, trying to get a different ending. You may have stayed because a younger part believed you had to earn love, or a protector feared abandonment more than mistreatment. A hopeful part believed that they could change, or other parts in the system noticed this familiarity. These are not reasons to shame yourself. These are invitations to tend to the parts of you who kept trying. So what now? You may have already left, or you may still be in the relationship, unsure what's real. Either way, the path forward begins not with them, but with you. Here are 3 steps that you can begin today. Rebuild your relationship with yourself. Start noticing your inner world. What parts are loud right now? Who feels sad? Who feels angry? Who feels betrayed? Who still wants to go back? Begin listening with compassion, journaling parts, mapping them out, or a guided IFS meditation can support this. Go about setting boundaries with clarity, not cruelty. Boundaries aren't punishment, they are declarations of worth. Start with small internal ones. I will no longer override my discomfort just to keep the peace. Start with yourself. Bring those boundaries into your internal world. And then start to build a nervous system of safety. If your body still feels unsafe, even without them present, you may need some somatic support. Breath work, grounding, touch, some trauma-sensitive movement can help teach your system that it is safe to be with you again. You may feel like you've lost yourself in the relationship, but the truth is you didn't lose her. You protected her, that young, vulnerable part of you. You gave parts of yourself away because you were surviving. And now the invitation is to come home, to meet those parts with grace, to reclaim your inner world, one breath at a time. And in our next episode, we'll explore the trauma bond, what it is, why it's formed, and why breaking it can feel more painful than staying. If this episode resonates with you, please subscribe or share or stay connected, because your healing matters, not just to you, but to every part of you that stayed, that hoped, and now longs to be free. You're not alone, you're not to blame, and you're not beyond repair.